Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hope Collective. Today I am doing a general reading. So I'm using tarot and oracle cards to bring through messages from the spirit guides and higher selves of the collective. And the keyword that I keep hearing as I start this reading is healing. Bringing through messages for healing, messages for healing, messages for healing. So thank you for that focus, spirit guides. And I'm shuffling the Spirit Song Tarot to get us started. What messages for healing is it that, or are those that you are wanting to bring through for us today, spirit guides of this collective? And these three cards are coming out all together. The High Priestess, Intuition and Sacred Knowledge. With that beautiful lynx there. The Empress, Beauty and Abundance, with the rabbit. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, the Emperor, focus and stability. This is incredible. Yesterday I just had time to do a short reading with the Unfolding Path Tarot, a totally different deck. And the three cards that came out, I was guided to draw three cards, and the three cards that came out were the Emperor in reverse, Death upright, and the Empress in reverse. So there's definitely a correlation between both that short reading I did yesterday and this more in-depth reading about a divine union, the Empress and the Emperor, a divine union of masculine and feminine. And I was not expecting this to turn into a romance or a love reading, but that is definitely the direction this is going. And with the High Priestess here, a very spiritual, divinely guided, psychically guided union with a psychic link to each other. So you may have experienced in the past, or you may be experiencing now, psychic dreams that are connecting you to another person, especially if it is a romantic counterpart, and you may be experiencing other forms of psychic communication with another person. I just heard the lovers in my head, so definitely driving home that this is relating to a romantic, loving relationship. We're going to see where this is going, but before I do any more channeling or getting more specifics, I'm being drawn to pull a couple cards from this Foxfire Oracle deck. And I was just shuffling that as I was speaking the last part of my reading, so I have two coming out together here. We have Follow the Signs 44, definitely divine. We have 2, 3, 4 with the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Emperor. And we have Follow the Signs with 44. So much divine guidance on this connection, this union. Holy cow. You might hear me say that a few more times. Sorry if I get repetitive. I'm very stunned is the word I would use. Find a place to withdraw to, 32. Okay. I'm feeling immense peace coming through the image of this card. Find a place to withdraw to. There's so much innocence and peace and depth here. And I'm being drawn to put this over here, actually. Find a place to withdraw to. I'm getting this feeling of this group, this collective, having recently been through a very overwhelming or chaotic or noisy, difficult, just in some way challenging and tumultuous time. And that could manifest in so many ways. And it may have been for different amounts of time for different folks in this group. So it could be something has recently started to wind down from a few months of being very keyed up, or it could just be the last few days. But right now is the time I'm really feeling that energy drawing to a close. And now is a time to, excuse me, I keep on feeling like I'm about to cough, and then I don't cough. Let me take a sip of my tea. Okay, so now is a time to find a place to withdraw to recover, because I'm feeling that energy drawing to a close of the chaos, the turmoil. Actually, what I'm feeling and seeing is like this portal closing. So it's like you've withdrawn yourself from a situation that was escalating in a way that could have been a threat to your peace or dangerous to you in some way. And as you've withdrawn, it's like the portal to those negative timelines or those negative attachments is closed. I'm hearing closed now rather than closing, so it just has recently closed. And now you get to withdraw to peace and solace. And that place of peace is connected to this divine union that we're talking about with the Empress, the Emperor, and the High Priestess. Because from that place of peace, within that quiet solitude with nature, you will have the grounding through the root chakra, the connection to spirit through the crown chakra, the connection to your own heart and your own gut. So your free will, your solar plexus, your brightness and shine, as well as your heart and its truths and desires and wants. You'll have the connection to all of these aspects and the protection within this figurative and literal space that is sacred to you, to be able to actually not only withdraw into solitude, not only withdraw into the solace of your connection with spirit, your spirit guides, your higher self, your heart, nature, Gaia, the world, the cosmos, the universe, but also withdraw into your psychic connection with your lover or loved one. We have focus here on the Emperor card and stability, highlighting you getting that grounding and stability that allows you in a safe space to focus on this psychic connection that you have, the sacred knowledge and the intuition with the High Priestess. And we have beauty and abundance. You get to relax into the beauty and abundance of all those other connections I was speaking about with your heart, your higher self, the earth, the cosmos, and the planet, but also the beauty and abundance of your connection with this specific other being that you are being drawn to and led to and guided to. This is such an interesting reading and so specific in some ways, because it's not necessarily the most common way to be led to someone, through your psychic link with conscious awareness of your psychic link, as opposed to getting intuitive nudges of like, oh, I feel like I'm being guided to go here today. And that leads me to looking up this interesting bit of knowledge I gained at that place today, which then leads me to go to another event where I then meet that person, right? Like that type of follow the yellow brick road, breadcrumby path is a more typical way for human beings to be led to the people that the divine is leading them to. And this is very much about this specific group, this specific audience, being led to people with you consciously and actively participating in the psychic link, in the divine guidance. You are not just being nudged in this covert way that most humans have to be nudged. You are participating actively in the conversation with spirit and in the conversation with your divine counterpart, and participating actively in the process of you two being led to each other. This is so fascinating. What else would you like me to do next? Should we read one of the guidebooks, Spirit, or should we draw more cards? Okay, I'm getting to go to the Foxfire guidebook first, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, follow the signs. I was just saying that about how most people follow the signs, but in your case, you're not just following the signs, you're talking back, you're asking questions about the signs. You are specifically asking for signs, and you are opening yourself up to ways of receiving signs that simply would never occur to most people. It's very fascinating to be around people who are that active of a participant in their timelines, in their life, in their spirit, It's so, unfortunately, uncommon in the human world, and so unusual, and it opens up so many more possibilities for your timelines when you are that much of an active participant. You are exercising your free will so much more, and at the same time surrendering to the divine so much more. And that seems paradoxical, but it's what gives you, it's what seats you in this place of infinite possibility, where it's just as possible to ride a dragon made of fire or a magic carpet as it is to stand with 2 feet on the ground. Now, with the Fall of the Signs being in conjunction with the Emperor, though, and then find a place to withdraw to, and the High Priestess being in conjunction with the Empress, I am getting that this may not resonate for everyone, but there's a strong likelihood that the people listening to this are in the Empress role, the divine feminine role, and yet are the ones more actively participating in this conversation with Spirit, and their divine counterpart, who's in a bit more of an Emperor role, is the one who's following the signs in a more, in more of the fashion that I've been describing. Still very, very divinely guided, still very psychically in tune, but perhaps not to that same degree that the Empress characters in this reading are. So there's a little bit less consciousness of like, I know I'm being led, I'm participating in allowing myself to be led, but I don't really understand what I'm being led to and why. Is a little bit more of the energy I'm getting from the Emperor here, whereas the Empress is feeling much more confident. We have this Emperor cat, wild cat, looking very focused and on solid ground, but also a little bit bewildered, wide-eyed, open mouth, and we have this Empress and this High Priestess very much sitting pretty, and not necessarily sitting still, like I said, definitely actively participating, very alert, especially in the Empress card, but looking very peaceful and happy. The cat and the Lynx card, the High Priestess cat, looks very lazy. In fact, with the positioning it has ended up in this reading, it's almost like this is the divine smiling down upon the connection from on high, as if this lynx is perched on a cloud, just joyfully, happily guiding those of us on the ground, like the Emperor and Empress, to where they need to go. And then we have this reading framed with the Fall of the Signs figure, who is also very much airborne. Of course, the lynx is not literally airborne, but there is very much, with the moon being right behind them and the ground beneath them being so artistically rendered, I'm seeing them coming through as on a cloud right now. And then we have the Fall of the Signs figure from the Kitsune deck, riding a dragon of flame, very much also airborne. And that fire, I'm getting from that fire divine protection around this union, the path that you are destined, I'm hearing, to walk towards each other, and the path that you are destined to walk together. Incredible, absolutely incredible. So for the description in the guidebook of card 32, find a place to withdraw to, we have, there are times when we must retreat from the world as it seems to be, for we are more caught up in its oppressions and illusions than we know, and in time we can lose that wilder part of our soul. The childlike part that draws nourishment from the natural world is overwhelmed at the present, and if we do not attend to this inner wild one's needs, there will be a high price to pay. So when this card comes, know that the world in which we are tested again and again against harshness and endurance can only be borne by finding its antidote, a hidden place where we can go and replenish the wild child within us, so they can come back to life in our everyday world once again. You will know of the need to do this when you have not felt happy, truly happy, for some time, or when what we call work dominates the precious moments of your life. I'm going to hold the guidebook under the camera here so that if you want to screenshot this message, you can, since I know this particular guidebook has such beautiful writing. It is when our mood sours and curls up, and a quiet hostility and a shard of resentment have worked their bitter way into our souls. These are your signs that you need the blessings of retreat, of silence, of solitude, of safety and peace. There is too much in the world that you have felt you must endure. This card asks you to treat yourself with more sensitivity and to gift yourself regular time out from the hammer of the world. Whether this place is within, through meditation or quiet contemplation, or outside, a place where you can go and be for a time without criticism, know that you are not too thin-skinned. You are not weak. You are a delicate being, and you must address the pain within through the finding of a safe space, which the Kitsune realms are full of, to bring the wild one, the strong one within, back to life so it can take its place at the center of your beautiful existence once again. Let the Kitsune guide you to a safe space. Do not neglect your own soul. Do not forsake your own precious self. You are a treasure, yes, even in all your fragility, and you are loved beyond your dreams. Immediately, like 1 or 2 sentences into that description, I got the energy very strongly, the message very strongly, that this group is feeling a little bit of guilt, or has recently been feeling a little bit of guilt for needing a timeout, needing to withdraw from people who are particularly needy and in need, because you see that those people's needs are valid and they need to be met, and it's a little bit challenging for you to let go of trying to make yourself be the one to meet them. But the reason that we saw that portal closed earlier is because you have come to a place of acceptance that you have done all you can for these specific individuals or people that you were trying to help, and you've let go and released attachment. And this is confirmation for you that that is correct, and a soothing, assuaging, healing energy from spirit coming through. This is why we heard healing at the beginning of the reading, or at least half of why. This is a healing energy coming through from spirit, through my voice, through this reading, through these cards, to make certain that you are certain. To make certain that you are certain, and that you rest in the certainty that you have nothing to feel guilty about. You have not done anything wrong. You should not have done more. You could not have done more. If you had tried to do more, we spoke earlier about the potentiality of you somehow endangering yourself or being compromised in some way, just like this card description in the guidebook mentioned. Replenishing yourself is just as important as helping others. I'm getting that you did very important things for the people that you recently tried to help, that you succeeded in helping in the ways that you were meant to and were called to, and that you are called to do no more in that particular situation. So if you've had any challenge, any difficulty, any reluctance to allow those cords to drift away from you, just like these autumn leaves falling in this find a place to withdraw to image, now is the time to take some deep breaths and allow those cords and attachments to drift away from you on the breeze of the divine, like those autumn leaves. It is complete. You are done. That situation is past. And you played exactly the role that you were meant to, called to, and needed to, and you went above and beyond. Do not doubt that. And now is time for your healing. In addition to the romantic dimension of this reading, we do have, with this sleepy high priestess cat and the Empress and Emperor cards here, a rebalancing and recharging within of your divine masculine and feminine energies, through you following your intuitive guidance to rest in the ways that you need to, recharge in the ways that you need to rebalance and refill these wells and these energies within you, so that you are fully recharged, fully potent, ready for your next mission, I'm hearing, and ready to go. And they're bringing me back to the romantic dimension of the reading as well, because with this 3 major arcana right out the gate from a freshly shuffled card deck, you and this other individual that you are being guided toward have an important mission to carry out. And that if you have any doubt about the necessity of resting and I just looked up and it was 2002 on the timer. If you have any doubt about the necessity of resting, remind yourself that you need to be really fully brightened and recharged for that next mission ahead with your person. You want this flame, like the Follow the Signs card, to be really brightly roaring and not diminished and worn away at the edges. So it is time to recharge and rest. And Spirit is thanking you adamantly for doing so. Thanking you for the role that you played in helping those you recently helped, and thanking you for resting and recharging, knowing that you will put yourself back out there to help more people again. And thanking you for helping yourself, because you are just as important as any other person that you might help. Now I'm being guided to read card 44, Follow the Signs. Here's the guidebook so that you can screenshot if you'd like. This kitsune girl is creating magical signs out of her holy foxfire. Signs, omens, messages for you to follow while you walk your path. She wishes for you to have guidance, and her purpose is to create this fire. And when you see this card, you know that the messages and the signs coming to you are to be trusted and are worth following. There is a sense of union, friendship, and trustworthy allies when this card comes, and she acknowledges that you are following the right path and that your trust in the signs that have been coming to you is not misplaced. I'm going to interrupt that description before the next paragraph to mention that you may have felt when the people that you were just helping started to feel more draining and less fun to be around, so to speak, pleasant to be around, whatever it was. You may have wondered or started to doubt whether you were interpreting signs correctly when you were led into them in the first place. And this is reassuring you that you were, and you are also being led correctly when you emerged from that situation and left it behind. You were guided to them to help. You are now guided to leave because your role there is done, and it's time to rest and recharge for your next mission, so to speak. This sense of following something subtle, strange, and not quite knowable is a tentative path and a mysterious one, and many have said, you are fools for letting such things be your advisors. What was I just saying about self-doubt? But this card says that you can grow in confidence and know that the warmth and the light of the sacred fire of the kitsune is part of the gift that the universe is sending to you. You have found her. She is saying yes, and now it is for you to tune in, connect, and keep your inner guidance strong and healthy. And we have this card bracketing the reading with the High Priestess, your inner guidance, strong, healthy fire, very much united in framing this reading, like I mentioned earlier. There is a purity to this process and a passionate energy. Go where the fire of the kitsune leads you, for it is growing in power, and your intuitive understanding is becoming deeper, clearer, and more luminous with every step. Yes, so there's a nod from Spirit as I got to the end of that passage about how it's so important that you nourish your fire, because having a nourished fire that you can then follow towards your passions. What is it that I want to put myself out there to go do? Is it a hike? Is it a social event? Whatever it is, following those passions is what's going to lead you in the physical to this person that you have been starting to feel this psychic or spiritual or heart-based link to. Yes, and we have the links on the High Priestess, and I just said link. That's Spirit just told me that that is not a coincidence, that you have Spirit, your spirit guides, the High Priestesses of your own intuition and higher self, and of your spirit guides linking you up with this other individual. I've never gotten such a pun like that before from Spirit. How incredible. Thank you for bearing with me while I stumble over my words just a little bit today. I genuinely appreciate that, you folks. I'm being drawn to use the Shadowscapes Tarot next, so we are going to shuffle. What other messages for healing does Spirit have for this group? What other messages about the guidance around this connection that this group is being guided. What else, Spirit? What else is coming through? Okay, we have a card here. The Page of Swords, and this did come out in reverse. There's so many beautiful wings in this card. Oh, and this figure is similar to the figure in Follow the Signs, and how I was speaking about the High Priestess, where they're airborne and reclining. The posture of the legs and the spine is so similar in this card as it is in the Follow the Signs card. And yet this came out in reverse. I see. The swords, being the element of air and of mental thought, relate a lot to clarity, slicing through the air like wings or like a sword. And with the Page of Swords being reversed, the page has graduated from the cycle of the 1 to the 10, the ace to the 10 of swords, but is still a beginner, is following the lead of the squires, the knights, the other court cards. And the Page of Swords speaks to following the signs, following the intuitive guidance. And the Page of Swords being reversed does speak to the slight draining that you've experienced recently, contributing to a current sense of a little bit of a lack of clarity, lack of focus, the understanding of the signs or the guidance not being complete yet, or some of the signs and guidance not having come in yet for you to understand. So you're in this slightly wobbly moment, about to take a step forward, but realizing, wait, I haven't gotten the next sign yet. And I'm getting reassurance from Spirit that you are about to get the next sign. Know that, and like these figures, recline into that certainty that you are continuously getting signs, and when you haven't gotten one yet, you are about to. And when it doesn't make sense yet, it's about to. Follow the sign and all will become clear. Follow the signs while protecting yourself, and you will very quickly come to understand why you were being guided to follow that sign in the first place. Justice in reverse. So here's what it looks like upright in this deck. The butterflies in this card look like hearts, definitely confirming the love aspect to this reading. With justice in conjunction to love, I'm hearing a long time coming. And it is partly because it's been a long time coming that you have this psychic link with this individual. It takes a lot of preparation to forge and protect a psychic link like that, in past lifetimes as well as in the current vessel. Ensuring there was something about the purity of the process in the Follow the Signs, and the fire element as purification. It takes a lot of purification to cultivate a vessel that is able to receive this level of psychic guidance, intuitive guidance, without the mental aspect of the self muddying the waters, misinterpreting the signs, and making them mean things that they don't mean. And you've cleared a lot of karma to do this. You've gone through a lot of purification to do this. Why is justice in reverse, Spirit? Because your justice hasn't quite come yet, is what I just heard. So you haven't quite... Oh, and this is the 11th major arcana, and 11, similar to the 2 in numerology, does speak to partnership, and I was guided to place this down right between the Emperor and the Empress. And we have 11 and 44, and the 2-3-4, but also the 3-2. Such amazing divine connections here. And because we have the Emperor right next to all the signs, we have 4-44. And with the 11 from the Justice and the 2 from the High Priestess, we have 22. Yes, we have the Scales in the Justice card, and we have a sense of you and your fate hanging in the balance as you await your next step and the divine timing and the moves being made by your divine counterpart. For the majority in this reading, that divine counterpart of yours is going to be the Emperor figure. Of course, reverse the roles if you need to. If it doesn't fit for you, don't force it to. But for the majority of you in this reading, waiting sort of the next step from this Emperor, as well as your next guidance from your divine guides. Yeah, we have the wings, one wing upright and one in reverse in the Justice. It's almost like waiting for that other wing to untwist so you can fly again. There's a little bit of Hanged Man energy coming through with this Justice in reverse, just being in a moment of suspense. Okay, so this is coming a little bit full circle here. Don't agitate and worry in this moment of things not being completely clear yet with Justice reversed and the Page of Swords reversed. Find a place to withdraw to. Find that stillness and peace, and you will be ready with open arms when the next sign does come in that way. You will see it instantly and react effortlessly, without hesitation, without flinching, without pausing to doubt yourself, because you've cleared that space of purity where you know what you're feeling and whether what you're feeling is divine guidance or not, because you have purged out and purified that space for receiving those messages. Such an intensely spiritual reading today, you folks. 4 major arcana, what the heck? And we have these tree roots unfurling below the Justice figure like a path unfurling before you, leading you step by step as you feel the path with your feet, coming back to that message of grounding. And we have the tree roots and the find a place to withdraw to as well. Yes, get really grounded so that you can feel your feet beneath you, and you'll be able to feel the next guidance, the next way that spirit is moving you, the next currents in the air with all these wings here and airborne figures. You'll be able to feel the next tremors in the earth, the next breezes on the wind, and flow with them in the direction you are meant to. You have the feather in the Justice card. We have this callback in this imagery to the Egyptian god who weighs hearts and souls against feathers to determine how pure they are as they move into the afterlife. So you are being called to purify your energy, your field, anything that's making your heart heavy from this situation that you have just withdrawn to, so that none of that is muddying the glass or muddying the waters and creating any confusion or any obscuring factors, so that you're able to be born brand new into your next step on your path or your next new path unfolding before you, and feel really confident in the next steps and directions that you are taking. Just like the Emperor, or any of these figures really, the Empress or the High Priestess as well, you will be very well suited, well fit to answer the call that is issued to you, because you will have drained anything of any toxicity, anything that is not of and for you and for and of your highest and best. You'll have drained all of that from your system so that you can be renewed. And one of these cards also, I believe it was find a place to withdraw to, one of the descriptions spoke to you being a delicate creature but not weak. You are a sensitive instrument. You are tuned very finely and very highly to the flow, the currents, the will of the universe and the divine. And that means sensitive, delicate instruments need to be maintained sensitively, delicately, and thoroughly. Every little part sort of taken apart and cleaned so that it can function properly and provide the information that it is meant to be able to sense. Sensitive, as a word, when you break it down, it means that you are able to sense. You are sensitive to various things that other people who are not so sensitive may not be able to perceive. You are someone who is very finely tuned to be able to perceive very precise details and pursue the path that you are guided to in response to them. Do not downplay that. Do not compromise it. Do not overwork yourself or wear yourself thin. Honor that. Nourish it. Find your place to withdraw to. Rebuild yourself from what has recently drained you. And renew yourself. Feel that purity of being enveloped by the divine, washed clean by the divine, and renewed by it. And the next steps, the next guidance from the divine will present itself to you from there. This is your current guidance from the divine, and your next steps forward will come once you've been renewed and washed clean. Metaphorically, but of course a cleansing spiritual salt bath, especially with Epsom salts, is a fantastic way to aid and abet that energetic cleansing for yourself, as is a good night's sleep. I think this group needs a good night's sleep. Some of you may get information in your dreams that's key for you. Some of you may not, and it may really just be sleep that you're guided to. Rest. Okay. I'm being drawn to another card from Shadowscapes. The Queen of Swords. This is such a beautiful card, and the Queen of Swords is precise. She has a bow and arrow shaped like a crescent moon. The Queen of Swords is the clearest seeing card in the deck. The embodiment of the strength of that finely tuned instrument, because precision is deadly. Precision is lethal. Do not forget that. A finely tuned instrument can be an astronomy telescope, it can be a sniper, it can be a specific chef's knife. Precision is what allows you to take deadly aim so that you only need to take one shot to hit your target on your next mission, to hit the aim that you are looking for. You only need one shot when you have been so precisely, intuitively, spiritually, divinely guided. Why waste all that effort on many shots when you can simply rest and renew and recharge and refuse to move until you are divinely guided to, and then when you are divinely guided to, it will only be that one shot that you will need. And that could be applied to dating and relationships as well. You might be in a specific phase where you're being called not to necessarily go fishing for other fish in the sea, but rather await the divine guidance that will point you towards the right fish. The one that you want, the one that you have been waiting for, the one that you have been seeking and looking for, and who is seeking you in return. Okay. I'm being drawn to the Energy Oracle deck next. Here's what that deck looks like. I'm getting such strong moon energy from that Queen of Swords as well. Things from the unconscious coming to light. Divine guidance bringing what has been hidden from you to the surface. And that the patience that it takes to meditate, the focus that it takes to find your place to withdraw to, protect it, nurture it, and nurture yourself within it will be rewarded by that information coming to light. And it may be that with this psychic link, by you actually setting up a safe space for you to be able to clearly delve into that psychic link, that you get much more information and connection through that by creating a safe space within yourself and without to delve into that connection. Okay. Angel of Balance. This came out in one of my recent collective readings as well. And that balance and this contemplative, meditative stance and gaze definitely speak to that renewal. It's almost like this individual angel has been brewing up a healing potion. And it's also like they are patiently waiting for the brewing to be complete. They're not rushing to drink it when it's only at half strength. They know how well rewarded they will be by waiting for the potion to be complete. And this angel is glowing. They're in the process of being recharged as well, and they are available to you to recharge you. Yes, when this card came up in a previous reading recently, I was guided to look at the pyramids as a sign of awaiting divine timing patiently, because of how on certain days and nights of the year, certain stars and constellations align with the points of the pyramids when they are looked at from a precise angle, and they are viewed from a precise position. So that precision, that one shot, it's only one day out of the year, sometimes only one day every 5 or 8 years. So sharpen your senses by withdrawing and delving into your connection to spirit, and be ready with those keen senses for your precise guidance to take advantage of the intensely beautiful and profoundly rare guidance that you will get, that will allow you to accomplish something perfect in one shot, to hit a bullseye in one shot, to open your eyes at the precise moment that the star is aligning with the pyramid, and follow that North Star, second star to the left and straight on till morning, if I'm remembering that correctly from Peter Pan. If you try to fly before you've taken the fairy dust, it won't work, to use that Peter Pan analogy. Wait for Tinkerbell, let the fairy dust charge you up, and when you get that snapshot moment of guidance, fly. This is what is coming through for the collective today. I'm being told that this message is complete, and that we do not have any other cards to draw, and that is there anything else we can bring through for this group, Spirit? I am being called to come full circle with that angel of balance and what we talked about with balancing and recharging the Empress and Emperor energies within you. The clarity of focus with the Emperor, and the relaxing into infinite worth and abundance with the Empress. And that balance allowing you to be free of self-doubt, completely free of self-doubt, and completely full of confidence, because you are resting in the infinite abundance of the universe, and you have purified yourself to a level of clarity, of focus, that you are confident when you receive intuitive guidance with the High Priestess. So you have no need to doubt the shots that you take. You have no need to doubt the single shot that you take with that guidance, or the steps you take with the other guidance we got of the unfurling path. And you have no cause to doubt your wings, because you have waited for them to be fully recharged. You've waited with the Justice in reverse for them to be fully unfurled. Just like the butterflies in the Justice card, not trying to burst from the cocoon before they're ready, before their wings are ready to carry them. That balance. Balance in this divine connection that you are being guided into is also key. You are walking towards each other. Just because you are guided in different ways doesn't mean you should doubt that you are meeting each other halfway. I know there was that message that came through earlier about you potentially being guided with either more or less detail, consciousness, and clarity than the other half of this connection, the partner here, but you are nonetheless equal partners. Just because the effort and the energy expended looks different on the two sides doesn't mean you aren't both divinely guided, psychically guided, and that you aren't both equal participants. So don't doubt that. That balance is extremely key for you too, and part of why divine timing has been so key in the path towards each other unfolding, because you both went through certain experiences that have made you ready to be equal partners to each other in a specific way, and in your divine mission in life in specific ways. What else about that balance? There's something else about the balance coming through. There's something about the scales with the Justice and the points of the pyramids in the balance card, and then the single shot in the Queen of Swords card, and the way the Queen of Swords, the Justice, the Fall of the Signs, the Page of Swords, even the Empress, the Emperor, and the High Priestess, These cards are like perched, some of them mid-air, some of them on very small outcroppings of land amongst air and water. So there's something about you and this other person being balanced on a very fine point, just like the scales, and yet, just like the scales, it being very effortless. So if any of that self-doubt starts to creep in, simply do what you need to do to rest, come back to center, recharge, and let go of any hesitation or concerns in that regard. Do what you need to do to purify your vessel to receive clear messages, because it's meant to be effortless, the way that you and this other person are balancing on this very fine point. It is just like the feather and the pure heart weigh the same. You two are equal partners so that your balance is perfectly even, just like on those scales. And also your actions are very balanced. Your steps forwards are very balanced so that they are effortless, rather than one wing or one foot being weighed down so that your steps or your flying are cumbersome or awkward or ungainly or heavy and difficult. No, everything is very finely balanced. Your steps on this path are meant to be effortless. You're not reaching outside of yourself, like we talked about with dating around. You're not reaching outside of yourself to find guidance, to find another person, to get advice. You're coming back to center, to your own very refined sensitivity. You have maintained yourself and learned how to do so to a very high level. Keep coming back to that center, into that self-maintenance, that self-love and confidence and worth. Again, resting in your infinite worth with the Empress. The infinite worth and beauty of yourself and of the infinite blessings in your life. The gratitude for what you already have that allows each moment of each day to feel like this effortless flow of abundance, gratitude, and blessings, because of how much you appreciate the things that you already love about your life. And allow, just like we talked about with the passions and follow the signs, allow that gratitude to multiply your blessings with the multiplication from the Empress and the fertile rabbit. Allow that gratitude and that basking in the beauty and the abundance to make it so that waiting doesn't feel like waiting, it feels like basking. And those things, that gratitude does multiply your blessings with the law of mirroring or attraction, whatever you call it. That focus in the Emperor can be used positively at this moment in time to multiply the blessings and the signs that unfold before you, to multiply your perception and appreciation and ability to relax into the abundance of blessings you already have, and multiply the speed with which the blessings that are meant for you come in. Multiply your ability to appreciate them as they come in and really delve into them, bask, soak in them. Really soak in and infuse yourself with the vibrations of all that is positive and beautiful and sacred in your life now. Create your quiet place of solace with that, and make that place, that sacred place, resound with the vibrations of beauty. I'm going to ring my singing bowl a little bit here. Make it resound with the vibrations of beauty and of ringing truth. And let that abundance cleanse you. You are being infused with divine light. You don't have to be empty just because you're emptying of that which has drained you and any attachments related to that of these autumn leaves. You are being refilled and recharged so abundantly. And focusing on that, just like we talked about with the passions and the follow the signs, that's what's going to lead you to the next thing that multiplies your blessings and abundance even more. And then you're so relaxed and soaking in the gratitude from those blessings, it leads you automatically to the next ones and the next ones. And this is key to you and your person finding each other, as well as you and your blessings and missions finding each other, and you being clear on your next guidance at every step along the way, what the next right step is. Come back to what fills your well, fills you up with gratitude and appreciation and abundance and beauty. And that will always bring you back to the intuition and sacred knowledge, the focus and stability, and the purity and passion that light up with divine timing your next right steps and place you in the right moments, the right place at the right time. So thank you so much for being here today. I truly hope these messages have resonated and brought you clarity, solace, hope, and guidance. Thank you so much for walking your path. Check out the description box in my bio if you are interested in my website or other platforms. Leave me a comment if you feel guided to, and I'll see you in the next reading.